I'm Jonathan Reeder, translator of Two Blankets, Three Sheets by Rodaan Galidi. As a descendant of immigrants myself, I was moved in many ways by this hilarious as well as sobering story of one asylum seeker's simple quest for a better life. My own great-grandparents, like so many other people's ancestors, but also like Samir Karim, the book's narrator, fled the violence of their homeland. They were greeted with open arms, but also by a dizzying system of contradictory rules, language barriers, cultural bias, and homesickness. What made this book such a pleasure to read and to translate was that Rodaan spares no one, not the immigration system, not his fellow asylum seekers, nor the Dutch people, not even himself. But at the same time, he treats everyone, the cheaters as well as the do-gooders, with equal compassion. It reminds us that Samir Karim could be anyone, including you or me. Here's a short excerpt from the book. I loved Amsterdam from the very first second. Being in a small provincial town was a constant reminder that you didn't belong. But in Amsterdam, to me, everyone looked like a foreigner. After walking around for an hour and a half, I discovered something else. Everywhere you looked, there was a clock, so you always knew what time it was. So at 4 o'clock, I was back at the asylum center and was once again given 2 blankets, 3 sheets, a towel, a pillow, and a pillowcase. Ellie, the staff member who I'd had a run-in with before, brought me to a room with 5 beds. "This is your bed," she said. "You have to check in every day." She left, but then came back half an hour later and took back one of the sheets because she'd seen in the system that I'd returned 1 sheet too few the previous time. She added that I needed to bear in mind that I was supposed to return 3 sheets, not 2. I remembered exactly what had happened to those sheets the first time around, but I was afraid that if I explained, I'd make her angry. And it wasn't worth angering Ellie over a sheet. A Somali asylum seeker who was stretched out on his bed told me not to worry. "Sometimes there's a Surinamese guy working in the supply room," he said. "He'll give you a sheet if you ask him." "How much will it cost?" "He'll just give it to you, free. Sometimes even a blanket, too, if you want. He slips a blanket to a lot of the asylum seekers who get tossed out onto the street. Or else on your last day, you can just tear a sheet in half and try to pass it off as 2.